Diane and Denmark here, rah, rah, rah. It is Wednesday, which is anti-procrastination day in Flylady land, if you're following the Flylady focus thing. And I just want to do a quick check-in with you today, literally, hopefully, a 5-minute video. Let me put down my pom-poms. I've noticed over the last week or so, there have been some comments coming in, both on Instagram and on YouTube, that people are, feeling a bit of overwhelm, where we're changing seasons. And if you remember at the beginning of September, I always do that thing where we go through the Flylady basics. We're kind of back to school, and everybody's got all these ideas that, okay, now we're going to get organized. Now we're going to be making that perfect packed lunch for the kids, and it's all going to be very healthy, and we're going to cook from scratch and no takeaway. And then what happens is we set those expectations really, really high. We set the bar so high for us that when it comes actually to putting these things into action, what happens? We kind of run up to that bar and we think, oh, hold on a minute, I don't think I can manage that. And then we don't even attempt to go over the bar. And with my videos, I always say to you, just do something. Put one foot in front of the other. Keep it simple, sweetie. The KISS thing. And that hold on, lost the plot there. That we don't. You've really got to kind of take a step back and say, okay, what are my expectations here versus what is the reality of the situation? In your expectation is, okay, I'm going to suddenly be meal planning. I've got my control journal going. I've got all these lists and all that. And then what happens is, the kids are back at their activities. You're working 2 jobs. Throw awful weather in there. You've got snowstorm or whatever going on. And suddenly that kind of image that you had of everything being perfect, suddenly it's all kind of crumbling away. We've really got to measure up here and say, okay, what is my expectation and what is the reality of the situation? The reality of the situation is you've really got to keep it simple. You've got to stop beating yourself up for not living up to those high expectations. We've really got to pull the bar right down and take it right back to scratch. Really keep it simple as possible. Me, I tell you that I have my routines. You may have your routines written in your telephone. Just having your basic morning routine and evening routine written down somewhere, whether it's an app, whether you've got it in a file folder, whether you've got in a bullet journal, it makes it so easy. You just open up and say, okay, where am I? And start checking off the list. But we've got to keep it simple. We don't want to have these 20 items. If you need help working on your basic routines, I'll put a list up there. I've got a link to the playlist. I think it's called the 7-Day Routines Challenge, and you'll see my morning routine, evening routine. So if you need any help with that, but I just wanted to hammer home to you today. Keep it simple, sweetie. Really got to keep it simple. Somebody was asking on Instagram the other day. She was asking about my evening routine, and she said that 2 nights a week the kids are out to activities, and then she has to come back, cook dinner. This is what I've been saying to you in a lot of the menu planning videos, especially on days where you are toing and froing. You're maybe driving the kids to an activity, maybe you're out to a night class, maybe you're working 2 jobs. You've got to keep it simple. On those days, you're going to do something like put something, if you've got a crock pot, put something in the crock pot and get that going. Keep it simple. A frozen pizza and a bag of salads and some chopped up veggies. You've just got to feed yourself. It doesn't have to be a Michelin-starred meal, and it doesn't need to be hitting all the nutritional boxes. On very busy days like that, plan for something simple. You may have been eating out, doing takeaway 7 days a week, and you want to get away from that. Maybe on that 1 day a week, you do get a takeaway. You've really got to stop the guilt here. We don't want all that guilt again. And it's the same with The cleaning, the decluttering, I've told you time and time again, you do not need to be spending 15 minutes in the kitchen every day. I'm just mentioning the kitchen because this is the Flylady Zone for the week. You do not need to be spending 15 minutes in here every day cleaning. I've told you before, a lot of my cleaning I do when the coffee pot and the kettle is just here on the side. Whenever, we're making, when I'm waiting for the kettle to boil or brewing coffee, I can be doing something simple in here, like wiping off the fronts of the cabinets, emptying the dishwasher, refilling the salt and pepper, giving those a wipe off. You don't need to be standing there with a toothbrush scrubbing things to within an inch of their lives. We're just doing something. So if you had had that kind of back to school and everything was going to be done, just take a wee step back this week. What has worked for you? What's not working for you? And what has stopped? What has stopped the progress for you? Have you been procrastinating on things? Get your timer out, set your timer for 5 minutes and do something. Or have you set the bar too high? We've really got to bring that bar down, because the main thing is that we can get over the bar. Once we're over the bar, then we're on to the next one and the next one and the next one, and we're kind of jumping along. But we've got to keep it really, really simple here. So anyway, a wee rah to set you on your merry way. Rah. Oh, hold on, I've lost one has fallen down. Here we are. And I hope you have a fantastic Wednesday. And I'll just tell you, let me just check in my Google Home house management file, and I'll put a link up there if you missed us doing that. That was last week and the week before. Let me see, Wednesday, because yesterday I didn't make a YouTube video. It was Plan and Play Day, and I got in touch with friends. I'm meeting up with them over the course of the autumn and the winter. I also bought some concert tickets, for John Hopkins. I'm going to see him next year in Copenhagen. I tried phoning a specialist doctor, but they're actually on holiday this week, so I'll need to get in touch with them next week. And I paid some bills online and checked my menu plan. That was used yesterday for Plan and Play Day. And today is Wednesday, is anti-procrastination day. So if you haven't maybe cleaned out the fridge for a wee while, take a wee look in there. Oh yeah, I've got a note in here to check the bike lights. We've got bike lights which you can recharge them. They don't work on batteries. They work on a USB stick. So I'm going to take those off at the end of play today and get them charging. And other things for me on a Wednesday, this is the day that we put out our check all the rubbish and recycling in the house, because that'll be picked up tomorrow morning. So anyway, that's it for me. I hope you have a fantastic Wednesday wherever you are in the galaxy, and I'll see you again on YouTube on Friday, and otherwise I'll see you on Instagram. So anyway, live long and prosper. May the Danish be with you, and see you very soon. Bye for now.